Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your daily crypto news. I do hope that you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. As always, leaving a like, comment, or subscribing always does help the channel, and they're very much appreciated. Very big thank you to every supporter of the channel who has supported in their own way. I really do appreciate it. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. It says technical analysis. Bitcoin turns red. Why Bitcoin could dive below 39,000 US dollars. It is a very interesting news day. A lot of very weird things have taken place over the last 24 hours. And that is also, while there is good news about Bitcoin and even the wider cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin continues to fall. We have had, I don't know how to even really say this, we've had a lot of indication from analysts that Bitcoin was on the verge of moving upward. I told all of you, do not hold your breath. I feel like something is really weird in the market right now. There's no actual way that we can continue to get nonstop good news, but the prices of the entire market continue to fall. I'm expecting Bitcoin to simply fall back below $30,000. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's just kind of logic at this point. There's no way in any market that you can get nonstop good news for 3 months and continue to fall down. So the news of capitulation, I think we had 1 or 2 articles last week. That means out of the 48 other Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and Solana are about to skyrocket, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 floating around that said Bitcoin has to fall a bit further in order for the price to go back up. Why we continue to get this idea over and over in the markets, especially after we just passed those prices, I'm not really sure. So yeah, if you are a whale, I'll say it again, if you are a market mover, as they're called, today would be great. I'm looking at a watch that's not really on my wrist because I don't wear watches. Today would be nice if you could just drop us back down to 30,000 so we can simply move back up from there, but I feel like it's going to take a couple more days. It says TA, Ethereum at clear risk of more losses below 2,800. There were so many articles like this, and I mean, I guess this is the silver lining for me as I'm going through the news, because of course, if Bitcoin looks like it's going to continue falling more, the other altcoins are going to do the same. There was an article for Solana, there was one for Tron, and there was one for some other coin where they were like, it just looks like, these coins are going to fall. I wonder what's the reason. It's like it's Bitcoin. Always remember that Bitcoin is the gigantic magnet in the sky. So if Bitcoin looks like it's going back down to 34,000, 30,000, expect Ethereum and the other coins to tumble as well. This was, I believe, this was the only optimistically positive news story for coins that I actually found today price-wise. Leading analytics firm Santiment says that one on-chart metric is hinting that Cardano has reached an opportune price level for ADA bulls. The firm locks its radar on Cardano's market value to realized value, or MVRV, which shows the average profit of loss or loss of a coin in circulation at a given price and can be used to suggest price reversals. According to Sentiment, Cardano's MVRV is at a level that has historically been a bullish turning point for ADA, meaning basically its price is so low right now, it should be going up. Not even joking, that's basically in a nutshell what the entire thing says. We've had oversold news for a while. This is also part of the reasoning why I'm always here like, well, clearly the prices are going to go back up. We know that the market is oversold. We have like actual line levels all the time and all these different charts showing that like we are clearly too low. We have passed by a point of resistance where we know that people have been buying. There we go. That's how you phrase that. And we should be a lot higher. This, however, is kind of the catalyst, I believe, for what's really going on. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says stocks slide and the dollar climbs as rate hike concern in focus. When I looked at, so the cryptocurrency news market is special in one way because when price analysis is being done for the coins, it doesn't look at any other actual world market events that are going on. I've told you that for months now. It's a very weird thing where the news in the cryptocurrency space is there's accumulation, we should be a lot higher. There's no accumulation, prices are going to go a lot lower. This analyst said this, and therefore that's going to happen, or that analyst said that, and therefore this event is going to take place. It's never anything to do with the dollar. It's never anything, and I think people need to finally admit this to themselves, and I think we'd be a bit of a different market. The cryptocurrency market is heavily intertwined with the stock market, regardless of what people think, what they want to say. As someone who does daily crypto news and who goes over the news daily and sometimes makes 2 or 3 videos, the cryptocurrency market, for whatever reason, is basically the stock market. And that hurt me a lot to even think about saying that, because we should be our own market. We should not be as entwined as we are with other world markets. If world events take place, we should see a bump or a slide here, but nothing in an exact movement like we are currently seeing. So the news currently is right now, the event taking place in Eastern Europe looks like it's going to continue, and stocks are sliding because of the nonsense. On top of that as well, the Fed has announced that the economy, and if you look at actual growth news for the US and other countries, it's still down. There's no actual growth. It's actually stagnating in some sort of way. And the way that the Federal Reserve believes that this would actually get the rest of the world market moving is by raising rates. And the idea is if you raise rates, it makes, and then you also have the other part with them talking about not buying as many securities and not buying as many government this and not buying as many things on the stock market and lowering their $1 trillion purchases to just under or on the line of $1 trillion, what have you. This is rattling the stock markets because we've seen and we've spoken about before that historically, since 2009, the idea was from the Federal Reserve, let's keep printing money. And all the money that was being printed was used to prop up the markets. What happens to markets that were no longer being propped up by this idea of over creating the US dollar to push the other markets up? You get a crash. This is why we've had talks from banks, and I think it was JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley, I think it was them, last week, who were talking about that we are on the verge of having some type of a mega recession / depression within the United States, which would then subsequently also flow to the other countries because of the Fed's actions, which means the entire time none of this should have been happening. There shouldn't have been these terrible economic policies that have everyone in this situation where even regardless of what they say that they're trying to do, inflation is very bad. I'm pretty sure I've watched videos about inflation from multiple different places around the world. I've watched the US ones, the European ones. I've watched a lot of the Australian ones, which were also popping up as well. And they're talking about their inflation rate is like 12, 13%. But however, these people were like, I went to the supermarket and it was about 43% higher than what I normally pay. So the problem is right now, my friends, I'm not sure if it is, once again, simply new people who've gotten into the market in the last 2 years, because we've had a lot of news that people who used to be in the stock market wanted extra gains. They moved over to the cryptocurrency space. A lot of them were hedge funds, and they're simply trading Bitcoin as if it was a stock as opposed to the actual usage of the network. The idea that we have seen before many moons ago. Bitcoin was doing, roughly around $10 million to $15 million per day in movement across the network. And now it's over, I believe, $1 trillion per week just on Bitcoin alone. There's so much usage, there's so much activity, there's so much accumulation. But I do not think we are going to move anywhere in price until the stock market rises again. I know other people will not say this out loud to you. The other crypto YouTubers will tell you that they are either bullish or bearish in the short term because, the market's going to reverse. The correlation is far too high that every single time that there's been the only thing that moves our market is Elon Musk farting. And you realize I didn't chuckle, I didn't laugh. Anytime he's in the news, the crypto market actually moves up a tiny bit. And that is probably the worst thing for our market. Our market, and there's also another rich guy did a movement news and therefore people got scared. Our market should not at all be reliant on the actual bodily movements of anyone, nonetheless rich people in the market. If rich people dictate this market, it is the same as every other market. The cryptocurrency market is meant to be decentralized in all manners of the word, especially for Bitcoin. It should not rely on the actual speech, movements, selling, or buying of any entity in the space. It is meant to be accumulated for everyone around the planet. And a lot of people still do not pay attention to that until they have all the Bitcoin and there's none left for anyone else in the world. And then people begin to complain because they don't have any Bitcoin. Our markets keep moving, and it's this really weird kissing of the toe thing. Whenever we hear that a bank gets into the space, whenever another billionaire, you've seen me before. I even say it. I'm rolling my eyes because this idea that this rich person who before just didn't see the magic of the cryptocurrency space now sees it, and they're throwing billions into the market, and our market ends up climbing that day. Because we heard, oh my gosh, I can't believe that some rich person has finally validated our market once again. The cryptocurrency market is doomed if we continue to just follow the old system. The old system was rich person Warren Buffett sits on a stage and says, I'm buying this, I'm selling that. I don't like this, I'm going to buy that. He moves markets just with his speech. If the cryptocurrency market is just another stock market, then what's the point of being in crypto? I've had this discussion. Hello, friend. And I assume you're watching because he watches nearly every single episode. Thank you for your support, by the way. We've been discussing moving money into real estate, looking at stocks that actually have high returns. I'm being completely honest with you because this market, this is very bad for the cryptocurrency market. We shouldn't be sad when the stock market falls down. Our market should actually be doing the exact inverse. Or the same exact thing holds true when the stock market moves up and every single person writing these cryptocurrency articles not discussing that we're only moving up because the stock market went up. That's terrible for our market. We should not be mimicking other markets around the world. Bitcoin is an actual currency and should have its own movements based off of actual usage and adoption and all the other metrics that go a part of it. So anyway, I've spent far too long on this one topic. It looks like a lot of these stock futures are indicating that prices are going to continue going down this week because apparently we have until next month for the Fed to actually, I think, give their final decision or another rate hike or something like that. And it's expected that if they keep giving indications that they're going to actually continue raising rates, stocks will continue falling until we actually get them to say we're raising rates. And then kind of people, after that 1 week period, people forget that the Fed has actually said anything. And the dollar is rising on the idea that, this could boost the U.S. economy, et cetera, et cetera. One of the really weird, and I know why it happened, and you all know why it happened as well. Really weird news stories of the day. So that's all the price news, if you will. This actually also took place over the weekend, and Bitcoin's price actually fell. This is what let me know explicitly that we are tied to the stock market. For those of you who did not know, the Central African Republic has become the first country on the continent and also the second country in the world to fully adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Right. See? That's why I made sure to mention everything else before I actually said this. I made sure that you knew all the other movements of the market, how bad things were looking, the prices were going down, that the stock market was also moving down, and we were tied to the stock market to let you know that after all of that, the news that came before that was that another country has officially adopted Bitcoin as legal tender and our prices moved down. Right. Yeah, I know some of you are sitting there scratching your heads being like, that doesn't, how did that? Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? So the news apparently is, from what I've been reading, just so I don't have to give you every single article, is that the Central African Republic apparently has a very bad economic system. Not really a big surprise. As once again, if the U.S. has if the U.S. controls the U.S. dollar and the U.S. dollar is legal tender and that's not doing too well, we can only assume that every other country on the 190-something country list also isn't doing too hot. So the news basically is, I don't know what the talks were behind the scenes. A lot of them weren't even discussing it. It was more of a, this event took place. This has now happened. So I assume as the day goes on, we should maybe get more news as to why this ended up taking place, what the discussions were, how it led up to this, because the same thing happened for El Salvador. They basically, there was an announcement at a Bitcoin conference where someone stood on stage, started crying, not joking, announced that that El Salvador had adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. And then, what do you call it? And then we got news, over the weeks as to how this unfolded. So I assume this will happen here as well. But yes, officially, this is not speculative news, or maybe they will. No, they have adopted Bitcoin officially as legal tender to try and prop up and help their economy. And I think I only saw this on 2 cryptocurrency websites. Just maybe 2. We're actually talking about this. I had to find actual news, world news articles to find any discussion on this actual thing. Right. So that's all the price news that we have right now. We are officially tied to the stock market. And unless the Fed decides to keep printing money, which they're probably going to, or stops raising rates, which they're going to have to at a certain point because no one's really buying even with rates going higher. Yeah, we have to wait until Tesla unveils a new Tesla CRX 2100 model that can drive backwards with your eyes closed, or Microsoft and Apple will have to announce something major for the rest of the stock market to move back up, because that's what we're tied to. No one else will admit that to you, but I will. That's all the price news that we have right now. Let's see what happens as the week goes on. I'm expecting the price to continue moving down. Not financial advice. However, if you're one of those buy the dip people, or you've been waiting for a movement downward, it's just the common trend. Bitcoin goes up, certain people begin to moan and say, oh, I wish I had more Bitcoin. Why didn't I buy when it was lower? I don't see any discussion of I just bought more Bitcoin while the price is lower. It's too high for me. I need it to go down. The price of Bitcoin goes down, and I see no one talking about that they're accumulating. Alrighty then. That's the price news. And let's move on. Also in special news of the day, the CEO of NASDAQ-listed MicroStrategy has dispelled the rumor that his company has been quietly selling Bitcoin. He explained that as a company regulated by the SEC, changes in Bitcoin holdings must be disclosed to shareholders via SEC filings. That's how it works. Explicitly, period. That's the end. That's exactly what takes place. And it's terrible. Can you imagine a market that doesn't move off of news that another country has adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, but someone easily starts a rumor that A did something to B, and everyone completely loses their minds and starts talking about being bearish on Bitcoin? We cannot survive as a market if our market only moves when rich people do things. Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency market will not succeed. People keep thinking that their altcoins are separate from Bitcoin because someone told you at some point that your coin was stronger, better, and faster, and at some point in the year 2042 was going to have more adoption. They were lying to you. The entire market is Bitcoin. I know a lot of you probably just clicked off or got really upset because you don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. every single time, the cryptocurrency market was so different years ago. It was based off of actual, and a lot of it was even rumors. If we had rumors that eBay was going to list Bitcoin as a payment option, or if this was going to happen, or if this company even said Bitcoin out loud that they were thinking of using it and or accumulating it, we would move up in price because it showed that people were optimistic on the actual movement of the market based off of actual real world events. It had nothing to explicitly with billionaires buying up all the Bitcoin or billionaires doing this or telling us where the market should or should not actually be going. The fact that we know that MicroStrategy has openly told us, even through the SEC filings, that they're accumulating tons of Bitcoin, we've seen before. This is how we knew that Tesla did not sell any Bitcoin. For those of you who were not here last week, we had news a couple of days ago that the market went up because people looked through the SEC filings and was like, Tesla didn't sell. If you're buying Bitcoin based off of what Tesla's doing, you probably should not be in this market. Telling you right to your face. Like, you probably should not be here. If the movement, this is why I said earlier, Elon Musk making any movement is going to dictate how you buy or sell an asset. If we once again give power, think of the reason why we have cryptocurrencies. It's to get away from the old system. If you give the old system Elon Musk is the old system, by the way. Just because he is smiling all the time and is charismatic and tells all of you to love him, he is the old system. He is big money. The point is, money should be for everyone, not just for the 800 people at the very top of the 8 billion people on the planet. If we give them all the power once again to control our market, we simply then become the old market. And then at some point in the year 2055, someone's going to create something that gets us away from Bitcoin and the system of cryptocurrency, saying it's not decentralized enough, power to the people. And then everyone goes, yeah, that sounds amazing. And then we hear some other rich person saying, I believe in this new system as well, even though I've profited from the old one. And then the same thing happens again, because humans are just ridiculous. This week, a rumor circulated on social media that MicroStrategy had quietly been selling its Bitcoin. For those of you who even remember, MicroStrategy told us 3 times. Michael Saylor was like, we are not selling any Bitcoin. We only plan on accumulating more Bitcoin. How many times have these people taken out $600 million in debt to buy more Bitcoin? And it takes a rumor, not even from the actual company, to get everyone to, like, people panicked when this news happened because all they heard was rich people sell Bitcoin, me also sell. MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor tweeted on Friday, dispelling the rumor. He explained that as a regulated company under the US SEC, MicroStrategy is required to disclose any material change in corporate strategy to shareholders by the SEC filings. In addition, the executive emphasized that SEC filings are public records that are available to all. He further noted that material changes included acquiring and holding Bitcoin, as well as making changes to crypto holdings. Here's the tweet for it right here. So yeah, a lot of people believe this rumor. Why? Like I'm asking. Why does this keep happening? Why, when we get the truth, does no one believe it? There's still tons of people who think that he's lying. How do you not know how the world works? How have you been in the cryptocurrency market for all these years and you don't understand how the SEC makes, like, you have to file these things? It's like years ago. Oh my gosh, it's just like it. Years ago when we already had numbers as to how many XRP that the people from Ripple were holding, because we knew, because everything was on the actual blockchain. We can see how many were minted, how great the burn rate was, and how much the company held, because they also told us. But it's people who got into the market later who didn't know what an XRP or a Ripple was. And remember, I told you someone's lying to you years ago and all of you fell for it. about this about Ripple and that about Ripple, and Ripple's not decentralized enough, and Ripple's not Bitcoin, and none of you actually cared. All you knew was that someone told you to hate them, and then you ended up hating them, and now you lost tons of money. So go thank that friend who made you lose tons of money. And then on top of that, the people from Ripple had to openly announce that they were going to take the XRP that they had and lock it into a 5-year escrow to appease people who weren't even XRP holders, because people were like, no, I'm pretty sure they're selling. Even after they had the escrow, we could see they gave us the numbers every single month. We are releasing 1 billion XRP. Here's how million XRP that we used for travel around the world to go to different conferences. Here's how much do we use to update our systems. Here's how much we use for this. We have 700 million XRP. They're going back into the system for another 5 years in the escrow. People were like, no, they're lying. Dude, I know they're lying. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with all these people in the market? Why is a rumor so much stronger than the truth for so many people? I don't get it. I do not understand. There was also, before we even had actual news about Tesla, and I did not make it into any video because I was like, I know they didn't, because we would have had news about it before. There were rumors that Tesla had sold some of their Bitcoin. And I was like, no, we would have had an SEC filing. We would have had an SEC filing, multiple articles, and the actual screenshots of the actual listings with the US SEC that Tesla plans on selling 1.7 blah, 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 whatever worth of Bitcoin. So anyway, yeah, this market only gets more and more interesting as the days go on. This was one of the most popular news stories. That MicroStrategy did not sell any Bitcoin because they didn't. When they do, if they do, I assume they're not going to for a very long time. I've always felt like Michael Saylor was, how do I say this? A man with a lot of information. I feel like he knows someone who knows someone who knows a guy who knows where Bitcoin's price is going. It would seem very unorthodox to me that anyone would be pumping or wanting to take out billions of dollars worth of debt to buy anything unless they knew or had an indication or an answer as to where the price was going. So anyway, I don't think they're selling anytime soon. If they do, it's totally fine. You don't have to clutch your pearls. Like, it's really, really fine. I'm also seeing a massive uptick in the amount of articles talking about like whale movements. You've seen them before in this channel. Not always, but I'll show them to you. If there's like a huge movement worth of money, usually it's someone taking money out and moving it off of a cryptocurrency exchange into their cold hardware wallet. But a lot of the news now, because I think people just want the clicks on these articles, is trying to scare people by saying that these movements are actually terrible for the market. No, that's the point of the market. You're supposed to be able to move your money as you see fit whenever you want on the market. That's the point of it. So if someone got into the market really early, let's say you got into the market in 2011 and you happen to randomly hold 11,000 Bitcoin, and you at some point are like, I want to move 7,000 Bitcoin onto another platform just because I want to, separate my coins, not have them all in the same space. You have the right to do so. So why are all these articles constantly popping up talking about $118 million worth of Bitcoin just moved from one place to another, and we can't tell who did it because that's the point of the market? And these articles are talking about, will the price drop on this movement? Like, stop terrifying people. Stop making everyone so scared of every single thing that's happening in this market. Even if MicroStrategy and Tesla did decide to sell, that doesn't stop Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market from doing what it does. From movement around from around the world, from the other hundreds of companies who are still accumulating, from the for the countries who we know are accumulating Bitcoin. Think of it like this. If this country just adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, how many Bitcoin do they have? I would assume if I had my own country, I would have accumulated Bitcoin to make sure that I secure my position before I announce it as legal tender. Governments don't announce that they're going to start accumulating gold. They simply accumulate gold and tell you how much gold that they have. So that was the MicroStrategy news that was floating around. No, they have not sold, because we would have known through the SEC Please stop starting rumors. I don't know if it's because you find the market to be boring right now. Maybe there's nothing to do in the area where you live, no parks. Maybe you don't have a dog, but go outside and do something. Like go breathe some fresh air, because these are just getting ridiculous more and more every single day. And I try my best to just bring you the actual cryptocurrency news without all the rest of the fluff. You would not, but 99% of the news is just fluff. Like explicitly. Anyway, that's the MicroStrategy did not sell any Bitcoin. No need to panic. The rich people are still holding onto their coins news. And without further ado, let's move on. The rest of the news was a little wonky, if I can say it. It says Asian car manufacturers Nissan and Toyota have made their entry into the metaverse, creating new virtual offices and events for the community. I kind of laughed at this one just because it was like, they're not really getting into the metaverse like other companies have. It's more like they're trying to tout the idea of them as a company making offices in the metaverse as like, yeah, we are cool again. Look at your new office. Doesn't this cubicle have so much more space than your physical one? Tinkering with the metaverse has become a trend among major brands and companies. This time it has caught the attention of Nissan and Toyota. On the 22nd of April, Japanese automakers Nissan and Toyota announced their entry into the metaverse to offer new virtual experiences to their users. Wow. Organizing digital events and building virtual customer service offices. Yes, because Toyota, that's exactly what we want. I want my real world car to break down so that I can put on my headset and go into the metaverse and talk to an AI about what's wrong with my car. According to the Japanese newspaper Nikkei Asia, both companies are seeking to innovate, in the metaverse, offering immersive exhibitions of their cars through the use of virtual reality. All this thanks to their partnership with video game developer startup VR Chat. Nissan will focus on creating virtual reality rooms for its customers. Why? Why? Can you imagine? Hey guys, you don't have to go to a physical waiting room. You can stand in a virtual reality room with tons of other people while we wait to take your questions. In contrast, Toyota will focus on remote working environments, creating offices for its personnel where they can discuss technical developments through the use of their avatars. Wow. I mean, talk about innovation. That is, I'm sure the workers at Nissan and Toyota are just, can't wait to work in a digital environment. I'm sure these people heard. Pretty sure these people were like, "Are we gonna have days off?" And they were like, "Even better. Remember when I told you we're gonna get a bigger office? Put on this headset." And they're like, "Oh wow, I'm so glad I'm not getting fired." So yeah, the Nissan and Toyota news of the day is that they're entering the metaverse. I don't think it says what metaverses they're using. No. And wait. No, it did not say which metaverse they will be using. I mean, I'm going to assume it's either Decentraland, Sandbox, or Facebook's upcoming one. Just because, I know a lot of companies are thinking about using that one because they don't really care about their workers. Anyway, that's two car companies getting into the metaverse news. Wow, this is incredible. Alrighty, let's move on. Also, in popular news of the day, this was actually more popular than a country adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. Think about that. Think about it. Where we are as a market. As a people, that the idea that Shiba Inu now has a burning portal was more popular than a country adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. Popular meme coin project Shiba Inu has launched a SHIB burn portal to decrease the token supply and enable users to earn passive rewards while doing so. Wow. Yeah, and actually that's so much more better than Bitcoin. The Shiba Inu team stated on the portal website that it was created explicitly to increase the scarcity of SHIB and make it one of the best digital assets in the history of cryptocurrencies. I feel like what would have really worked to decrease the amount of SHIB was to not make like 45 trillion of them. That really does it. Why this coin didn't come out with like 100 million? The portal was created as part of a partnership between Shiba Inu and the Ryoshi's Vision, which is an Ethereum-based decentralized finance protocol that aims to support the growth of the SHIB ecosystem. SHIB burners will enjoy two incentives for their efforts. Firstly, they aid in reducing the circulating supply, which is massive. Secondly, they receive burnt SHIB. Yes, you heard that right. They will receive burnt SHIB tokens in their Ethereum wallet, which pays the holders in Ryoshi rewards at a variable rate. Don't forget that there's also there's a bone coin and a dig coin? A leash. There's a leash coin. So this project now has, I believe, 5 or 6 different coins. There's Shiba, there's leash, there's the bone coin, there's the burnt SHIB, and Ryoshi. So, the news of the day is, which once again was more popular than a country accepting a coin that has been around for 13 years as legal tender, is that there are now more coins floating around the Shiba Inu ecosystem, and they have a lot more to burn because I'm pretty sure it's over 1 trillion coins. Also in the news, or back in the news once again, is the news that Grayscale's lawyers are apparently getting quite impatient and are considering legal action against the SEC quite soon. The way that the SEC filings for Bitcoin ETFs tend to work is, let's say you put in a filing in January. Wonderful. The SEC will normally say that they'll give it until, I don't know the exact time frame, I think it's 3 months. Let's say March. They'll give you until March and then they'll give you an answer. The way that it's worked constantly since around the last 6 or 7 years when the Winklevoss twins were trying to get a Bitcoin ETF going through was that usually around March, the SEC will go, oh gosh, I didn't get to the paperwork. Can you give us a little bit more time? And then everyone goes, okay, sure, why not? And they always ask for public opinion. And they go, okay, well, we need a little bit more time to go through the paperwork, which is a complete lie because it does not take 3 months to look through. Even if it was 100 pages, it doesn't take that long. You can also even hire people who know the legal background of this and hire, hey guys, anyone looking for a job because we have some extra paperwork to read. Tons of people would raise their hands for that. And then they always go, okay, well, give us a little bit more time. And usually it's around June or July. I'm giving you the time frame, not the actual months, that the SEC ends up going, oh, we're so sorry. We didn't approve it. No, it didn't go through. But you can try again. You can pay the fees once again. Try everything all over again. And it's looking like that we are currently near that point where the SEC is most definitely going to be saying no and is not going to be approving this. So the lawyers from the SEC, from Grayscale, allegedly, as far as I've been reading, have basically come forward once again. Because I think it was the head of Grayscale at first during a conference who said something. But now the lawyers are basically there and they're like, there's no way that this should not be pushed through. And the metrics for what means approval by the US SEC are apparently ridiculous. Like imagine like doing, what was that game? Frogger. Imagine like Frogger, but there are no lily pads. That's kind of apparently the way that it is. And I assume that the impatience comes from the fact that we have about 16, 17 different physical Bitcoin ETFs around the world. Was it Singapore? No, was it Australia who just launched one? No, it's Australia this week. Yeah. We had news last week that it's been approved. I think a Bitcoin and an Ethereum one physical, which means that the entity at large will be accumulating actual physical coins for their actual funds, and it's expected to hit $1 billion worth of Bitcoin sometime within the first week alone. So I'll say it this way. I applaud the efforts, not that I'm, explicitly for rich people being in the market, but I think it says something when rich people go after the regulators themselves, because usually you kind of see them always bowing in admiration. Well, we like the Winklevoss twins have always done. I used to cringe so hard. Every single week they would go, well, we need regulators. The SEC has been absolutely great in all of this, and we love the SEC. You can look it up. Kissing their toenails. What are you people doing? It was so weird to see them groveling constantly over this. This is normally what happens. People always bow down to regulators. So to see that they're kind of fed up because they know that what's going on is incorrect, or at least allegedly incorrect in some sort of way. Because once again, if everyone else in the world can have it, why doesn't the U.S. have it? And all that. Remember, don't forget, I'm pretty sure that you all took part in this as well. Remember the news that we had a couple of months ago? This was 2 or 3 months ago, where the SEC was looking for public opinion. And I said, go to their website and give them your opinion. Let them know what you think, because I wanted to be on record explicitly that they had thousands of people writing to them, because if you look at other ETF or something SEC proposals, you can see it on their website publicly, they usually have 1 or 2 comments. That's it. Literally just 2 people will comment, I think it can go through. I wanted to see on this one, and I'm pretty sure it was Grayscale's application in particular, leave them thousands of comments explicitly. Let them know exactly why this should go through, so that when they say no again, you all know for a fact that they've been lying the entire time. They don't care about public opinion. It has not, there's some suitcases being passed around in the background because something here is not right. So I don't blame them for being impatient. I'm also impatient. Just launch the Bitcoin ETF. What are you waiting so long for? I know what they're waiting for, but that's the Grayscale is getting impatient because the SEC is special news. And the last thing that was floating around, it says Ethereum is witnessing surging activity amid price stagnation, according to crypto analytics firm Santiment. Yeah, weird, right? We're also seeing it for Bitcoin. The activity on the network is skyrocketing. The amount of people using, building upon, everything is going up daily. There was also, I don't think I have the article here, I think Bitcoin's hash rate has also hit a brand new all-time high, which has historically, over at least the last 7 years, been an indication that Bitcoin is about to pump. Instead, Bitcoin goes down. The amount of people building apps and dApps and decentralized exchanges on top of Ethereum has not slowed down, regardless of what's currently happening with its price. The amount of NFT projects, we have some talking about building on Cardano. We got a couple being built on Solana, but the vast majority are still being built on Ethereum more and more every single day. I'm pretty sure Shiba Inu is also on top of it. The amount of the new I don't know what I'm talking about. There's some other new project that just came out that's also relatively huge. They also are built on Ethereum, built on Immutable X. So yeah. I've thrown my arms up. I don't know, and I don't think anyone else out there explicitly knows, except for the whales, Elon Musk, and the other people controlling the market, what's going to move us at this point. Maybe the stock market, because, Anyway, that's the news. Yeah, can't believe it. Alrighty. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, GBU Wally, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Fud Weiser, Roman Geba, Bitcoin Ben Arachno, Dave Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay, Mobarazi, VB Nerd, 21, Miguel Grolay, Lauren De Silva, Quarter, Biddy, Troy, All Good, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Anima, Rita, Bibliophobia, Todd, Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Boaty McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Ramacho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, and Crayola Michelle URL. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel who clicked the little join button below. Thank you to everyone who is a supporter of my art. I do thank thee. Everyone who left a like, left a comment, or has subscribed, gracias. At the moment, Bitcoin is at $38,516. It is down by 3.17%, which is roughly around the number where the stock market is down. Ethereum is down by 4.7%. Binance Coin is down by 5. Solana is down by 6. XRP is down by 7. You get the idea. Please, just fall. We all know you're going to do it. Like, it's just fall. I mean, explicitly. Fall by 18% today. Go back down to 29,000, shock the market, have everyone accumulate so we can finally get over this hump, because it's exhausting at this point. It's just like, we know where prices should be. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for documentaries about this space to really explain to me why all these movements are the way that they are, because I feel like it's not just, oh no, Fed going to raise rates a little bit? How weird. Oh no, a country adopted Bitcoin as legal tender? Price must go down. What? Rich people did not sell and are still buying up Bitcoin? Well, price must go lower. Something's happening. We may never be in that room for those conversations, but you know. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you actually went out and did something. It's nice to go get some air, go run around a tree, or I don't know what's in your neighborhood. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.